Once upon a time, there was an art that thought it broke down the representational form. Its name was Abstract Expressionism, and its American hero was none other than Jackson Pollock.
It was early morning when the meeting took place on one of the bridges connecting West and East Berlin. Within hours, the news flashed throughout the world. The exchange of a Soviet spy for our U-2 pilot underscored one of the realities of our present day. There is an espionage war, fought on a dark and secretive battleground by trained professionals. As the Russian who we returned across the bridge in Berlin, Colonel Rudolf Ivanovich Abel. During his period in the United States as an active agent for the communist conspiracy, Colonel Abel operated under the cover of Emil Goldfuss, artist. And artist he was, at spying, at furthering the directives set out by Lenin, bring about world revolution and eliminate its adversary. But skilled as the Colonel Abels are, countering them would be less of a problem if not for those who aid the professional agents. For the Colonel Abels do not work alone. A riot in Tokyo, inflamed by local communists. How quick the Colonel Abels are to make use of those who always see the world through red-colored glasses.
And because we couldn't use real fire, we had to imagine there was a flame.
In a quiet corner of a European city, a Soviet agent has met a contact who is not assisting him because of communist conviction, but because he has been bribed. Money is often the lubricant on which the Soviet spy machine rolls. So, too, is the weakness of people who act in an intemperate fashion. A hand caressing another hand. The focus of a hidden camera, and later on the subject of the picture may be the target of blackmail attempts on behalf of Soviet interests. A plane flying between two American cities. How tempting it is to talk too much to a stranger, especially when one is involved in some way with important technological and production secrets. The kind of information most of you people work with every day.
Tired doing the same thing.
Now, gentlemen, I want to emphasize again that the purpose of the security briefing which the DOD provides is not that you start seeing spies behind every bush these next few weeks. Now, all of you are cleared. And all of you, in one way or another, hold in your mind...
Peggy Guggenheim patiently waits for Jackson Pollock to arrive.
Information the operatives of the other side...
Once he arrives, she slowly blindfolds him, bringing him completely into her operation of the art world. She guides him towards the paint and towards the canvas, and lets him work on his masterpieces.
Thank you for your time, gentlemen.
I was glad it was over. The Department of Defense briefing before going overseas for my company. A large outfit in the aerospace field. Well, not that the briefing was dull. Far from it. After all, what's more exciting than a spy thriller? Hearing about all those cloaks and daggers and Mata Haris awaiting us on the other side of the ocean. But one thing I was sure of. I knew how to handle classified information. And I also knew that leaving behind the United States meant leaving behind certain built-in protections.
And we continue to imagine the story of America.
Local police to contact quickly, talk to in my own language. The immediate protection of United States agencies such as the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Close at hand, properly maintained security files and safes for classified documents would not always be available on my overseas
And questions
trip.
of what is nature.
All these thoughts were running through my mind as I arrived home. Frankly, I had mixed emotions about the approaching trip to Europe. Well, I have the travel bug just like anybody else, but I would be separated from my wife and kids for almost a month.
This
The
is
mark
the
of
story
that separation had just arrived in the mail.
of an American
passport.
hero.
And a few days later, that same passport was checked at the Overseas Airlines counter.
This is the story of
Today,
the myth and the
more and more
remaking
business and
of
industrial
Jackson
executives
Pollock.
and technical people have a need to go abroad on company or organizational matters. Many military and civilian employees of the Department of Defense must go overseas in the performance
These are
of their
questions
duties.
about the artist.
It was time to say goodbye to family and home and America for the next few weeks. I'd be a liar if I said security was on my mind during these moments. But I had taken the proper actions. In my bags were papers and blueprints, yes, but nothing classified. These I'd arranged for the company's security office to mail on ahead to a United States military installation close to my destination. Overseas, I had no intentions of letting down on security. As my plane took off, I made this silent vow. Yes, from the moment of my arrival in a foreign country, I was determined to be careful every step of the way. But what I would later come to realize was, in security as in everything else, good intentions alone are not enough. Things went smoothly at the start. Sure, things were not much like our suburban town back home, but I settled into the routine of the assignment fast enough. Early morning, a car would pick me up and take me to a plant on the outskirts of the city where I worked very closely with a Colonel Carr.
Rolling.
A man who had apparently never heard of the 8-hour day.
Jackson Pollock had a
So
lot
you
of
can understand,
vices.
come the end of the working day,
He liked his
I
drink.
was a mighty good.
He liked his cars.
Not too tired to react to what preaching when I returned to my hotel.
He liked his woman. And he liked to take things fast. Sometimes too fast. Sometimes he lost control. And eventually, he crashed.
My hotel room had been ransacked. I was about to call the local police when I decided to phone somebody else first.
Then as far as you know, nothing was taken. Not that I know of. You left no classified documents.
Oh, I know better than that.
Well, I know you do, but maybe whoever did all this...
Pollock
is
liked to
something
live
you
life fast. He liked his
think they
drink,
were
his
after
woman, and
classified
his cars.
Could
It was
be.
this speed, this
Why else
reckless
would a thief
speed
take
that
such a
eventually
chance?
killed him.
Try so hard.
Here's a toy car of a Porsche
Seems to
being
me
guided
this is
out
a
of
case
control.
Not just for the local police.
In real life,
For the
Pollock
American
died
authorities
driving
in
an
the area.
Oldsmobile convertible while intoxicated, coming home from a party with his lover at the time, Ruth Klingman, and her friend,
Well,
Edith
frankly, it was
Metzger.
the colonel who insisted.
Neither Pollock nor
I find it
Edith
hard to believe that
survived.
someone would go to all that trouble just
But
on
is
the
this
chance
just
that
minor
there might be
details,
some
parts still
classified
whole,
documents
just
lying
another
around?
American tragedy,
amazing how they
just
will grow
another
that
American dream?
Do you remember a few years ago when it was revealed? that
How
the
do you
United
ever know
Nations-
what is real?
that the Russians
What is the role of
actually
the
placed a
artist, and how can his art be
sophisticated
separated
button
from its
inside the Great Seal of the
operations?
United States?
These are some of the questions we
began
are
another
asking onto our
orientation.
audience.
This time,
Does the art
believing
only
our
hold a
mission.
responsibility to
I was
itself
all
in its
eyes and
struggle
ears.
with form?
Watching and
Or does it
listening to
have
the
a
consular
responsibility
official, the
outside
whole
of
thing
form,
seemed to come
as a
alive.
citizen, as a man denied citizenship? What are our rights, and what are
At the
responsibilities?
UN, it was revealed for all to see.
How do you ever tell
A
an
wireless
ending? Is
microphone
there ever a
device
truth
hidden
to an
by the
end,
Russians
or is it the
inside the
glimpse
Great
to a
Seal in the
past to look
American
upon and
ambassador's
find our
study in the
own
Moscow
place?
embassy.
Our own take, our own story, our own understanding.
I learned that a wireless microphone, such as the one placed in the seal's hidden cavity, can be smaller than an eraser on a pencil. These miniaturized devices are self-contained radio transmitters. Everything said in a bugged room can be tape recorded as far as a mile away without using any telltale wires. An enemy agent can be wired for sound with concealed microphones and recorders. Technological breakthroughs in miniaturization have made possible the development of these hard-to-detect devices. But quite possibly, the best of all is the simplest, the one at hand almost everywhere, the telephone.